For the defense,
Roberto Ambrosino.
and are you Kayla Connor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Kayla? Is it Jeanne? Janine Connor, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 0841C for the offense of injury to a child with intentional bodily injury on August 25th, 2022 for a period of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not a proposed agreement. The state will argue for our recommendation and I plead.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, given that the defendant has not reported for over a year and a half now, and given her history and not only the facts of the case, that state is going to ask for 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right. In defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, I'm requesting that the court impose some type of jail sanction, revoke her deferred adjudication, adjudicate her, and put her on straight probation. Or possibly, I saw there was a recommendation from probation that their recommendation was to extend and assign her to safety. I think her only positives were for THC. I don't know that would be a good fit. I think maybe SATIF might be a better fit under the circumstances. And I did have a witness.
All right. Can we call your witness?
Carmen Rodriguez.
Ms. Connor.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Carmen Dolores Rodriguez Mills.
All right.
Okay. And good morning, Ms. Rodriguez. How long have you known Kayla Connor?
I believe the first time I met her was around 2014, right before my husband got orders to station at Scott.
Okay. And she's essentially friends with your daughter, correct?
Correct. That's how I met her.
Okay. And so you've known Kayla for a while. What type of family life did she have as long as you've known her?
It wasn't easy. When I met her, she was living with her grandmother because she had her parents weren't really in the picture. And when we left and came back, we started talking to her again last year. And that's when we find out that everything that had happened, and she was not in a good relationship and she was trying to get away from that person. So her and my daughter had gotten contact again, but it wasn't a good example.
So she has had a hard life, especially. And with respect to the probation, I guess you were recently made aware that she had a warrant for essentially not reporting to probation.
Yes, I probably around New Year's, she let it be known. And at that time, I was trying to talk to her, and I don't know what the process would be. So I was trying to convince her if we could hire a lawyer to explain what needed to be done.
And so once you were made aware of her situation, you would advise her to deal with the warrant, put herself in some form of fashion.
Yeah, whatever I don't know if she would have had to go to the probation or who.
Okay. And do you feel like you've been a positive influence in her life to this point?
I feel yes.
Okay. And has she essentially spent a lot of time at your house over the last few months?
Yes.
Okay. Has she lived there or just
Sometimes my husband and I joke that she lives there. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And if the judge were to continue her on probation in some form or fashion, would you allow her to live with you, at least in the short term? while she gets back on her feet.
Yes, as long as she abides by the rules.
Okay, and based on what you've seen, do you think that'll be a problem?
No, I don't think so. I just think she needs the guidance.
Okay, do you think there's good in Kayla?
Yeah.
Do you think the judge should give Kayla another chance?
Yeah. I know she screwed up, but
Do you think that maybe Kayla lacks some structure and support that maybe she didn't get growing up, and maybe you could provide that for her?
yes.
Help provide that for her to some extent?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass on this.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, just go ahead. What's your daughter's name?
Michelle
Michelle, last name?
Rodriguez.
And how long did you say you'd known Kayla?
I think it was around 2014 because we left in 2015. And then, so I knew her then because I had to get permission for my daughter to go over there. And we to talk to the parents before.
So 2014 to 2015, you knew her before you left?
Yeah, before we left. And then when we came back, I would say it was last year that she started coming back.
When did you come?
Well, I came back, my dad had cancer, so we came back in 2018. But my daughter was in Clovis.
Okay, so from 2015 to last year, you really haven't had any interaction with Kayla?
Personally, no. Just my daughter saying, oh, I talked to her. Or, yeah.
Those are the only questions.
Any further
No,
questions?
Your Honor.
I have a couple if no one has any objections.
No objection.
So you mentioned that she was in a bad relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the relationship she was in while she was on probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did she ever discuss with you that Child Protective Services was in her life?
Child Protective Service. Well, she told me about the case and that she had certain requirements she was supposed to be making.
All right. And did she tell you her requirements with Child Protective Services?
I didn't ask specifics.
All right.
I was just kind of trying to get her to get back on track with the probation.
Thank you so much for coming down. I appreciate your coming down.
Thank you.
All right. Any other witnesses?
Just briefly call my client.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Kayla Connor.
All right, you may proceed.
Good morning, Caleb. You heard the testimony of Carmen Rodriguez. If the judge were to continue you on probation, are you in agreement to reside with Carmen in the next few months while you would get on your feet?
Yes.
You heard mention of a bad domestic violence involved relationship that you had been in previously. Has that ended?
Yes.
Okay, when did that end?
About May of last year.
So May of 2024.
Yes.
So that was kind of during this period of time that you had a warrant of your arrest, essentially. Why should the judge give you another chance on probation?
I'm in a better place than I was when all of this happened. I understand that I messed up. I did not go about it the right way, but I'm out of that relationship and that situation that I was in. And I know now that I have the support team that I do have, I am capable and more confident in myself now that I can get this done.
And why didn't you deal with the warrant earlier?
Honestly, I was scared. I've never been in trouble before.
So that's the first criminal case you've ever had?
So I've really had no idea how it was going to go. And due to being a mother of 4 kids, I just didn't want to do time away from them. That's really all it is.
Okay. And essentially, I wasn't on that case previously, but based on what you told me, you were given a period of time that you needed to provide residence in Bexar County.
Yes.
And you told me that you did get residence in Bexar County, but you were late in providing notice, and that's when the warrant went.
Yes.
And so that went out quite some time ago, but after that you didn't deal with it because you had the warrant and you were scared.
Yes.
if the judge were to continue you, who's to say the same thing wouldn't happen?
Like I said, I'm confident that I'm not going to slip up. I'm out of the situation that I was in, and that was a very big factor as to why things went the way that they did. And now I'm working on myself and my future for myself and for my kids.
And you have minor children, correct?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
4.
4, and what are their ages?
5. My twin boys are 4, and my youngest is 2.
Okay. And where are they with?
They live with their father.
Okay. And does he have like primary custody essentially?
There's nothing really in place. It was just a verbal agreement due to the fact that I had the warrant. I thought it would be best that they lived with him until I was able to get it figured out.
Okay. And so you voluntarily did that
Yes.
on your own? Okay. Is there anything else you want the judge to know why she should consider continuing you on probation?
All I have to say is that if you give me the another opportunity, I won't make you regret it.
All right, any questions, State?
Ms. Connor, what is the father of your children's name?
Nicholas Treadwell?
I'm understanding that you were given a gift by being placed on probation in the first place for this case.
Yes.
And then you understand that you messed up that probation by not doing the things you were supposed to do.
Yes.
And then the judge gave you an opportunity to come back and continue to do what you were supposed to do. You didn't. And then you didn't report for over a year and a half. Is that correct? That's right.
I have some questions if there are no objections.
No objection.
All right. So this relationship that you were in, that the previous witness says was not a good relationship, was that the relationship with the boyfriend who was supposedly working at Toyota? Or was this some new person? Or, oh, you say Tesla?
Yeah, it's Tesla.
All right, so that was him?
Yes.
All right. So do you recall being here for a compliance hearing? And at that compliance hearing, there were 2 CPS caseworkers. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And do you recall that nobody knew where you were living because you would move from place to place? Did you recall that? Do you recall that?
No, honestly, no. I was in touch with my probation officer.
Now, I want you to listen to my question. Do you recall the compliance hearing where the issue was you were moving from place to place and taking your children with you? Do you recall that?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Do you recall coming in where the caseworkers, one was by Zoom, well, actually, both of them were by Zoom. And do you recall coming in and one of the complaints was that you were testing positive for marijuana? Do you recall that?
Yeah.
And do you recall that your CPS caseworkers had no idea that you were testing positive for marijuana in this court? Do you recall that?
Yes.
And do you recall my ruling saying that you were to leave the home with that boyfriend? Do you recall that?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
Any questions, Your Honor?
All right. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And I've heard both your arguments and what you're requesting. This is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 4 true. Court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to grant the motion. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you understand that and sign it?
Yes.
You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are in deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're also not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Good luck to you.